Imagine you're living a life of quiet joy, with two beautiful children, and every reason to feel hopeful for the future. Then suddenly, in what seems like an instant, that happiness is ripped away. Your daughter is struck by a mysterious illness, and every moment of suffering she endures pushes you deeper into a desperate search for answers. Now imagine finding hope, only for the very people you turn to for help to accuse you of harming your child, take her away, and leave your family in shambles. This is the true, heart-wrenching story of the Kowalski family.
We as parents tried to do the best we can for our children, but there's nothing that could prepare me for what I went through. Nothing. Beata and I had a beautiful family, but then Maya started to get sick.
Complex regional pain syndrome, and we know what the best therapy is for it. It's called ketamine.
Father Jack, Mother Beata, son Kyle, and their daughter Maya. Their journey, depicted in the Netflix documentary Take Care of Maya, takes us from the love and determination that saved Maya's life to the devastating series of events that followed, ultimately leading to unimaginable tragedy and a historic fight for justice. Let's take a deeper look at this extraordinary story. Before their lives were forever changed, Jack and Beata Kowalski were living a simple dream. They had married and were eager to start a family, though they struggled at first. Then came their first blessing, Maya, born in 2005. Just a couple of years later, their son, Kyle, completed the family. From the outside, they were an ideal family, happy, hopeful, and thriving in Venice, Florida. Beata, especially, devoted herself entirely to her children. In Take Care of Maya, Jack reflected on his wife's commitment, saying, "Beata would do anything for her kids." For several years, life was good. But in early 2015, when Maya was just 10 years old, things took an unexpected and heartbreaking turn. Maya's nightmare began suddenly and without warning. She started experiencing severe, unexplained symptoms that left her family searching desperately for an answer. Her pain was overwhelming. Her symptoms ranged from chest congestion and difficulty breathing to intense headaches, blurred vision, and skin lesions. Her limbs began to stiffen, her energy drained into lethargy, and her discomfort only worsened. Her parents worked tirelessly to find answers, taking her to countless doctors and hospitals. But each new visit yielded the same answer: confusion. No one could diagnose her condition. Beata, however, refused to give up. Finally, in September 2015, after nearly a year of relentless searching, a meeting with Dr. Anthony Kirkpatrick provided a breakthrough. Dr. Anthony Kirkpatrick, an anesthesiologist specializing in pain management, diagnosed Maya with complex regional pain syndrome, CRPS. CRPS, according to the Mayo Clinic, is a rare and chronic condition that can follow injuries, strokes, or surgeries, causing intense, prolonged pain in the affected area. Dr. Kirkpatrick quickly devised a plan to help Maya. He started Maya on low doses of ketamine, a powerful anesthetic that has shown some success in treating CRPS. At first, the family felt a glimmer of hope, but the low doses were not working effectively enough. Maya's pain persisted. Then came Dr. Kirkpatrick's shocking recommendation: an experimental procedure, a ketamine coma. The ketamine coma was not a treatment available in the United States due to its high risks. The Kowalskis learned that they would have to travel to Monterrey, Mexico, where doctors could perform the procedure. The risks, as Beata and Jack were warned, included brain damage, severe complications, and even potential death. But they were faced with an impossible choice. Without treatment, Maya's debilitating condition would continue to trap her in a constant state of pain. At just 10 years old, Maya's life was slipping away. In November 2015, the Kowalskis packed their bags and traveled to Mexico, where doctors placed Maya in a 5-day medically induced coma with high doses of ketamine. Miraculously, the procedure was a success. Maya's pain subsided, and for the first time in months, the family saw a light at the end of the tunnel. Returning to the United States, the Kowalskis continued to manage Maya's CRPS with lower doses of ketamine to prevent a relapse. However, in October 2016, disaster struck again. On October 7, 2016, Maya suffered a severe relapse. The pain returned so intensely that she was screaming, unable to move or bear the agony. Jack rushed her to Johns Hopkins All-Children's Hospital in St. Petersburg, Florida, where Beata later joined them after leaving work. Desperate to ease her daughter's pain, Beata explained Maya's condition to the staff and requested ketamine, a treatment they knew worked. But none of the doctors or nurses at the hospital had heard of CRPS, let alone ketamine therapy for it. To Beata's frustration, the medical staff rejected her requests. She advocated fiercely for her daughter's care, desperate to convince the doctors to listen. But her pleas were not met with understanding. They were met with suspicion. On October 11th, 4 days after Maya's admission, the hospital contacted Child Protective Services, CPS. Dr. Sally Smith, a pediatrician specializing in child abuse cases, arrived to evaluate the situation. Almost immediately, Dr. Smith concluded that Maya was a victim of Munchausen syndrome by proxy, now officially called factitious disorder imposed on another, FDIA. This condition occurs when a caregiver fabricates or induces a child's illness for attention or sympathy. Dr. Smith alleged that Beata was the cause of Maya's condition. Under her recommendation, Maya was placed in state custody, meaning the Kowalskis lost their rights to make any decisions regarding her care. All contact between Beata and Maya was severed. For 87 agonizing days, Beata was unable to see her daughter as the case spiraled into a full-blown legal nightmare. The mounting stress, anguish, and grief of separation ultimately became too much to bear. On January 8, 2017, just 3 months after Maya had been taken from her care, Maya Kowalski took her own life. In her final email to her family, Beata wrote, "Please take care of Maya and tell her how much I love her every day. I cannot watch my daughter suffer in pain and keep getting worse. I can no longer endure the pain of being treated like a criminal." 5 days later, Maya was released from state custody and returned to her family. But by then, the cost of the ordeal was irreparable. In the wake of Beata's death, the Kowalskis took action. They filed a lawsuit against the hospital for wrongful death, emotional distress, and battery, alleging that their family, and particularly Beata, had been cruelly mistreated. The legal battle continued until November 2023, when the hospital was found liable for Beata's death. The Kowalski family was awarded $261 million in damages, marking a monumental victory. But the hospital quickly appealed. In 2024, a judge upheld the verdict but reduced the damages to $213.5 million. Despite this, the hospital vowed to continue its appeals, leaving the family locked in an ongoing legal struggle. Today, Maya Kowalski is 18 years old. She lives with her father and brother in Venice, Florida, but her pain continues. She no longer receives ketamine treatments, and the fear and trauma of her experiences have made it difficult for her to seek the counseling she desperately needs. One of Maya's attorneys, Nick Whitney, summarized her plight. "She's never had the opportunity to seek the counseling that she really needs, for fear it might be used against her." The Kowalski family's story is deeply tragic, but also profoundly important. It highlights the flaws in medical systems, the dangers of misunderstandings, and the devastating toll on families caught in the crossfire. Maya's journey, from pain to momentary relief to darkness and finally to justice, is a reminder of the immense resilience found within human beings. But it also raises critical questions for us all. How do we build better systems? How do we protect the vulnerable without unintentionally victimizing caregivers? This is more than a story of pain. It's one of resilience, courage, and hope, even in the darkest of times. Thank you for watching.